Namaste, Jai Bharat. Sri Arun Yogiraj is a sculptor. He became popular because he was a sculptor who sculpted the Ram Lalla statue for Sri Ramji temple in Ayodhya. So that is what really made him famous, and his craftsmanship is excellently and explicitly visible through the Ramlala statue which is there in the Ayodhya temple. Now something interesting took place recently, that is he was to go to the US for receiving some recognition by the World Canada Congress or something, and his visa was denied. Rather, his visa was rejected. Now, this is very interesting, and possibly what I understand is that his visa was rejected as he is understood by them as an extreme right-wing and dangerous person. Now, the same agency had once rejected the visa for my present Prime Minister, if you can recall. Then what happened, you all know. Now, I think the Americans should be very, very careful. They are trying to intervene in the affairs of others, which indeed is a nasty job. And then another thing is that their consulate general had gone to the house of Owaisi, and when asked, these pictures were put in the social media by both parties, the consul general and Owaisi himself. When asked, they said, "No, we have shared concerns to discuss." These two things you put together, and you keep the Bangladesh matter of fact in the beginning, in the background, and then I would say that Americans, whosoever is there behind this, whosoever is putting the idea behind it, you should be careful. You should be careful because strong Islamization is taking place in the American structure. Because your attitude and your behavior has become pro-Islamic and anti-Bharatiya, anti-Hindu. You cannot afford to be anti-Jewish, so that's one thing. But there is very strong infiltrated Islamic influence in the American structure, and this structure functions out through, went out through such things which we see. One, denying the visa. So it's very trivial thing. He's a sculpture, and they represented him to the concerned officials as a dangerous right-wing person, and he's not an activist at all. He just looks after his business. He's an expert. He's very exceptionally skilled sculptor. So that's it. He made the sculpture for someone else. And what was the shared concerns for the American consulates to discuss with Owaisi? You please investigate your own shared concerns with him, and please look in it. Please do an introspection into your matters of fact, that which are the areas you are under the influence of the Islamic radicals. It's Islamic radicalism which influences you and makes you do such things. And just by giving an overpraise to someone and putting someone as a plant in some place, you can't do anything. I'll tell you. All these things are the victories, for temporary of course, of the radical Muslims. America, if you don't check yourselves, you're gone. Already you have very fragile internal structure of coexistence. There are a lot of differences. It will continue for some time. Already you are that, and now with all this so-called international politics of your concern and shared interest, you're going from trouble to trouble. From darkness to darkness, as Upanishads would say. And this is very funny. This is very funny. And those who worked behind it have achieved nothing through this. Actually, they have popularized this poor man. He is no way a leader. He is no way a politician. He is with his own abilities and skills for which he gets respect. But then this will put him into another level of fame. You have done it. Just learn lessons from your own mistakes. Do one has to remind you of how you blackened your faces in Vietnam, Afghanistan, and many other places which I need to tell you. You are supposed to know it for yourselves. Please introspect and cleanse yourselves. We say Chitta Shuddhi in Sanskrit. You do that Shuddhi in your own system. You find out where are the infiltrators, and you can't help it because they are infiltrated into yourself to that extent that you commit such follies. This makes no difference to us, but we definitely take it serious, and we understand why you are behaving like this. It's bad, not for us, but for you, for your prolonged existence. Look at, I thought people must have learned lessons from the situations in European nations through refugees, which they warmly welcomed through the projected and spoken humanitarian philanthropic stories, which actually they are not, but they project it so. In order to put support to the projections, they take such refugees from several places, and now they have law and order problems, which will increase. Your next generation is going to curse you for these kinds of things. Check yourself. Pull up your socks. This is the Air Force language which that I remember. Pull up your socks and check yourselves and correct if you want to live meaningful life for tomorrow. We meet again. Till then, Namaste. Jai Bharat, Jai Shri Ram.